Hello everyone, do you hear me? Hello. If you hear me, just write yes on the chat box, then I will let know you guys are okay. Hear my
Yeah,
voice.
we can hear you, Restful.
Okay, Faisal, thank you. Anybody else, if you are not guys hearing anything, let me know. So wait couple of minutes, let wait for someone, maybe they can join, I don't know. They acknowledge about today's class 9:30 or not.
Yes, Rasul bhai, you can continue, okay? You can start. It's already
Okay.
9:30, so you just can start.
Okay, Asad bhai. Actually, today's class we want to focus on like write the test cases. I gave you some assignments for Pizza Hut, and we make some group, and then most of them I saw it like you are not sending, but few of those who are sending assignment, but we need to discuss because the purpose is for writing the test cases. It is you need some practice. It is not like I'm not um, assume like from you guys or expecting from you guys first day when you go to the job or first day when you're writing the test cases is going to be 100% perfect or 90% at least or 80%. But if you are not start practicing, definitely you will not feel comfortable, but you will feel it. Oh, how can you write, and then what is the procedure? The problem is like you are going to as a professional for 5 to 6 years experience, and then when you writing the test case and then review with your teammate or review with your senior team lead or manager, then that time you don't feel embraced or they will not like collect you as a test cases is rejected. So that is not a good sign. So when you write down the test cases based on your business requirement document, definitely it should be perfect, because perfect test case or a good test case will make you bug free or like the test different way the functionalities. When you write more test cases, more the way it should be, and then when you have that list, and then when you retest or sometimes when you go to is growing, right? Sprint by sprint your application is going to be grow, and then the previous functionality, if you have no proper documents, and then you might forget a lot of functionality to testing. So that is the main ultimate goal, to write down the test cases to document it. So always remember, we need to write down proper way to find out the bug as a end user. So I always told you, keep practice on it. And then I saw today, actually I will discuss with someone, few people you are doing test cases, and the rest of those you did not send it. Right now who are not attending, I will, if you are seeing this video again for next time, and then it will help you to write down proper way to give you confidence, like, oh, that way it should be. So I got it couple of those who sent me the test cases, and there was Animal is not here, right? Akramul Hawk. I'm not sure he's here or not. And Naim also sent some test cases. He's also not attending. I'm not sure he's attending or not. Later he might see this. So let's get started with their test cases. So what they wrote the test case about the Pizza Hut. So let's get started and review with you guys, and then we will go through some um, other test cases. Definitely Rahat also sent me that one. I like most. His test case was good. Some modification he need to as my review when I also said to him, and he also sent me back. So let's get started with the this one is Akramul also send me these test cases. So do you guys you see, all are seeing my screen, right? Do you need more zoom on it, or is that fine? You can read. Hello.
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh, it's okay. Okay. So last time I also sent it the template. I also check it. Nobody is using my template. I'm not sure why they don't follow that one. But as of now, it is fine. But when you practice it, I already gave you the template, and then based on the template, you need to write the details. So I did not say it. Oh, okay. You just modify your or write down your own template. It is fine. That is minimum, whatever. So always follow my template. That is better. And then if you, when you go to the companies, maybe they will modify or add more details like based on that application. But at least follow that templates. So the test case ID should be unique. We all we knows. And then we have some procedures better to have it. But if you write down TC001 or 001, it is fine. But you may write down a different way. We will follow the what is the better way. But that should be unique. And then the scenarios and then name. So test name and test scenarios. Do you have um, any confusion what is going to be test case name and what is going to be test case scenarios? Anyone? Seems like here, do you agree what he wrote, the scenarios and name? Just review and then try to read it. Like his scenarios name is login Pizza Hut website using valid information. So login Pizza Hut website using valid information. Valid information means what? What information is valid? About what we have login information, we have login username and password, right? So when so we don't know username or email address. He mentioned it here as steps. Email address we need and password. So valid. The scenarios he can use it, he can write down as a login functionality, verify login functionality. That could be scenarios name. Don't use like, okay, that is the information is test case name. The scenario you can write down valid, not valid or invalid. It is going to be in the test case name. So because the scenarios is you are verifying the login. So login functionality you are verifying. The data could be valid, data could be invalid. So positive and negative, all both are coming. So that time when you write the scenarios, always remember scenario is like what types of functionality you are testing. That is scenario. Sometimes scenario and test case name we write down the same if it is one-to-one. I already told you last time also. Suppose like sign out functionality, maybe there is one button. So when we click sign out functionality, that is one scenario, but test case name also it could be one-to-one relation, but most of the time one-to-many. So what does mean one-to-many? One-to-many means test scenario could be one, but test case will be one to more, one or more, or two or more. So that is the main rules. But sometimes a lot of places when we work as a personal experience, they also sometimes their test case name they also make it as a scenarios. The way it is. So it is depends on the application. Okay. So but the name always remember test case ID is going to be unique. Definitely name is going to be unique. But it is not like a name. It is not like a word. You cannot write down name a browser. You write down name as a home page, sign in and confirm. What do you mean? Is that anything give you any context what you are testing? So test case name will represent what you are testing. Always remember when I read one line and then I can go through, oh, okay, this test case about what. Always remember, when you write down anything, it will be, don't worry about how many word you are using. Write down proper sentence or proper sentence. That sentence make you or feel to other guy when they read, they will confirm, oh, what you are testing. So that name is going to be unique and also is descriptive by itself. So that way you can write down the test case name. So test case name, it is not like a name is not in one name you are testing always one test case name, one ID, and then it could be one scenario or maybe shared scenario. But always remember, one name is going to be one test case. It is, you have test case 4 name, and then it should not be test case ID is going to be one only. No. So if you have 4 test case name, then 4 ID should be there. And then test scenarios depends, one or many it could be. So always remember, these 2 columns is very important, this scenario and the name. Sometimes I already told you, when you write down the test cases, they don't write down any scenarios as well, only the test case name. And then somewhere you will find out there is only scenarios, there is no test name, because they isolate it. The scenario, they make it the way it is separated, the functional wise or functionality wise. But here, when you write down the test cases, I told you, write down the test cases about the Pizza Hut, create account. I gave you the assignment as a feel like as your manager or as your senior person. I told you, did I tell you, mention it on the last class to write down the test cases about the login? Why people are sending me the login functionality, even though it is not correct. So that is always why the practice it should be. Why I'm saying this, it is not like, oh, we are not clear about the login, that's why we write down, and then whatever I said you did not focus on. But the practice it should be, when your senior person, when your manager or other people give you any assignment, before leave, just make sure what he said, and then after that, when you go to your desk or your cube, and then based on that his suggestion or his discussion, and then you need to work on it, and then send him back the work. Yeah, he send I'm sending something as your boss or as your lead, and then you work something else and then send me back, and then after that you are saying sorry for that, I did not hear you. That is not a good practice. So sorry, always remember, whatever I said, write down the test cases based on that. So why we are not practicing login functionality at all right now? It is good to practice for learning, like A for apple, B for boy, C for cat. Every kids, they start with that alphabetical word. But after that, we are matured, we become mature. So that's why we want to focus on the more functionality, like 4 or 5 pages. When you go through, then you will feel comfortable. But the test case, I already last time lot of things I discussed, but nobody is focusing on anything. Last time what I said for 100% coverage, you guys follows or not, I'm not sure. So last time what I did, paint, I did, right? So I told you Pizza Hut login functionality, there is email and password is there. So when you write down the test cases, there was permutation and combination, we put it there, right? Do you guys remember or not? I don't know. But the thing is, we have some table was there, right? And then we already discussed. But if you are not following, then if you are not practicing, definitely you will feel not comfortable, and then that is good bad practice. So last time what we did, 0101 something like that, right? And then you forgot or not, I'm not sure, but definitely we have. So if we have 2 fields, suppose like one is presenting what is called email address or email something, and then 0 is presenting for password field. There is a 2 field. So and another one is representing, this one is for valid and this one is for invalid. So that way we already discussed. Suppose like email is valid and password is invalid, and then email is valid, password is valid, and then it's going to be successful. All other combination and these all are going to be where? all are going to be suppose sorry, this one is 0, and then if it is 1 1, definitely this one is going to be valid. Sorry, my draw is not good. Anyhow, that's why we already talked. So why I'm saying this, for username and password, that's going to be four test cases, but it is not like one test case is for browser and another one is for home page, another one is sign in, and then another one is confirm. This is step. Each step you can write down, not the test case name. Test case name is defined, and this steps is fine. Test description, I already told you, description always try to write down separately. Description, test steps is fine, or steps only fine. Here is the test steps, and then you put it here, the name, it is not the right order. So always put it the step here and steps description, it could be here, or maybe you can write combine. It's only steps. Description or test case name is defined. So it's that it is not correct. We will discuss how to write down, but definitely it will be 4 test cases. Suppose the way it is, it should be, how can we write down? And then definitely we can write down like that way. So let's get started with another one, and then so here is TC00 or TC01, and then test scenarios is login. I'm not sure, maybe just make it a little zoom so I know.
রাসেল ভাই,
ভাই
আমি পাঠাইছিলাম একটু আমারটাকে, did you get my test case for Shukla?
Who is this? This for Shukla?
Yeah, you got it?
Okay. Yeah, I also got it. Yes, that one also we'll discuss one by one.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
I also check it. Yep, no problem. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sorry for I did not reply back. I was a little bit busy. I know it is, you know, it is time consuming.
We're writing something that time we face lots of problem. How do I write? How are
Exactly. You need to practice on it. Start practice. That's why I always focus on, right?
Okay.
Try to practice more, and then make you feel comfortable. Otherwise, a lot of things is going to be you don't feel there is some procedure you need to follow. Otherwise, when you write down the suddenly, and then it will not make you.
I have a personally one request. You have any simple dummy structure? You can email it to us, and then we are follow like that this way, and then maybe as a learner we are understand
actually,
more.
Honestly, that when we start, even though you will not find out anywhere who are focusing and then who are give you more lecture, but the thing is, the problem is when we are going to the job, and then that has for some security purpose, even though if I give you the
no need,
you don't have,
because you are the experienced person. Just you write down your own way. Okay, dummy, just you write down your own way. Maybe
that problem is that time is time consuming. Definitely I love to do that, but it will give you more what is called more picture, or the way what it will be. But the thing is, suppose like if I write down for one thing, and then you can follow, but ultimate goal is you don't know what is your functionality. Suppose like mostly we are working on the web page, and then web page has how many elements we have defined as 7 and 8 elements. Suppose like text box, radio button, drop down, radio submit button, or there is very few elements is there. You can categorize. So mostly all, if you know one functionality, how to write down the test cases for about your functionality, and then it is for all, it is common. So I would say for link or drop down, or maybe graphical feature is defined, but ultimately functionality is same. Almost all are same. So that's why if you are start, and then definitely this class will when we go through one into another, and then definitely it will give you more accurate picture. So let's get started. I feel like if I write down, what happen is we don't have that time like an hour and hour to writing only the test cases. It's going to be 1 month to teach you for one write down properly test cases. Why I'm expecting you are guys spending more time and then think about that, and then we give you the procedure, and then you think and you write back, and then when you write back we will review which one is good, which one bad, or which one need to be modified, and then you are getting we are sharing each other task, and then that way you feel comfortable. Otherwise, if I start writing and then everything writing, and then it's time consuming, and then not only that, only what we are not focusing only the write down test cases. That course is short term. We are giving you lot of materials, lot of things, and then the short time in the short time you need to learn lot of things. So you need to focus on it, only focus on and practice, more practice, and then you will be ready. Otherwise you will repeat the class one after another. If you are not study, you will not feel comfortable, or you are not going to the market. Even though if we can send you, you will come back. That is not good sign. If you go over there, definitely you feel comfortable, and then you can keep the job. Otherwise, anybody can give you the next day the job, but ultimate goal is you need to work on it. So that's why I'm saying keep practice on it. You saw it.
I have one question.
You have one question, sure.
Yeah, because we are using the username and password 4 times or 5 times. So one is invalid, other one is valid, like that systematic way we are doing. And then other field we are testing only for one time. Like a radio button, combo box, or some name, and then
yes. So it could be, suppose like in one page based on the functionality. Suppose it could be 20 to 100 test cases. It is not like you are writing that one test cases and you are covering everything.
I understand. So it's 100 or 200, and then some browser is the lots of field, and then user ID and password we are using testing only for four different way: invalid and valid, invalid and valid.
Depends on. Suppose sometimes that they have, if there is 2 fields, definitely 4 combination we have.
Yeah. And then other field also as usual same way we are testing 4 way. Every field
it is depends on everything is not perfect for for everything. Like I'm saying, one is depends on the functionality to functionality. Suppose I would say you have a submit form. Suppose we practice on it. Pizza Hut, how many fields we have?
Maybe
let's get started here. So when we click join, and then we have those, right? And then depends on. So how many fields is there? 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Already 8 is there. So 8 text box. So 8 text box is there. So if we do combination, permutation and combination, that is going to be like maybe couple of 100 combination. That way we cannot cover everything. We cannot, if it is not possible. Suppose if we have 20 fields, that permutation combination is not possible.
Okay.
So
I have another question. And the name is the because different people name is the different way. This one is the we are testing only for one time, maybe first name, last name, middle name.
What you're saying, like the name
field.
So when you write down the test cases, you can isolate it 2 ways. One is functionality wise, and another one is feature or field level. So here I gave you the test cases. Write down the test cases about create account functionality. So based on the create account functionality, you need to fill up all 8 fields, text fields, and then some optional fields. It is required or not. There is three optional field is there, and then one is confirmation field, which one is required, and one is captcha or robotic. And then you when you click create account, it is end to end. But if your email is wrong or email is invalid, you cannot create. Suppose we are writing here something, and then immediately we find out it is valid or invalid. That is feature level validation. Somewhere what happened is you are writing here something, you are writing some test cases or email address. When you write down the email address, what happened is it is immediately it is validated. When you leave the field, that error automatically come. Why? Because the field level verification it has. But somewhere when you work, some company, suppose like I checked it last time, couple of months ago, Walmart, and then they have also a couple of field is there, first name, last name, and then email address, password, phone number. That's all. And then after that, when submit, and then it is verified it is correct or not. So that's mean it has functional level, not the field level. So in that case, when you write down the test cases based on, like, you can one test cases you can write down end-to-end flow. That means all required fields and optional fields you are writing there, and then you hit create account, and then that is account is created or not. That is the one functionality. So your ultimate test case is going to be create account functionality. But how you find out your email address is not correct, or email address is valid or invalid? How you find out? Every time you are clicking create account? No. You have opportunity to write down the test cases based on the email address. So let's get started with your one also. Last time you did, I think, let me check on you practice on it. I think this one you stand. So here is first that
Example mine. How everything messed up.
So here is the I wanted to give you some correction. So when you make it the table, don't use it these types of column.
No. This one is the accidentally. Sorry. This I know this the part. This one is accidentally is coming. That I didn't. I know. But
yes, always when you remember, don't unless. But the thing is, let's get start here. Like you wrote the scenarios. Log in to the application by providing correct username and click the sign in button. So you are saying the thing is you are writing here login, right? Login functionality. So here the scenario is saying only correct username and you are clicking. So what about the password? Did you mention anything? No. And then the scenario is going to be, you are specify the what is called what is click. It is action, like you are doing click action by state sign in button. The scenario is not like that. Scenario is going to be what you are testing. What I'm testing here, I'm testing the login functionality. So okay, verify. I already last class I also told you how to start with verify or checking or check. That word is make you, even though it is not correct, if you are not writing, it is not, it's going to be invalid. But it is good to have it. That's why we already discussed. But nobody is followed the last class, 1 or 2 classes. I already mentioned those, how you can start with. And then nobody is following. That's why it is happens like that. So log into the application. By providing correct username, click sign in. You don't need to more specific. Scenario is like always remember, scenario is like 10,000 feet overview. It is high level. What you are testing? Oh, I'm testing create account. I'm testing transaction, transfer transaction. I'm checking log out functionality. I am checking send email functionality. Verify send email functionality. Verify login functionality. That is like the functionality what you are doing. That is your scenarios. But the test name is going to be more, because if it needed, suppose test case name you can check it. Okay. Check login with valid data. That data means what? What types of data? Or don't make it, you are writing the test cases based on I don't know. This is valid data means username is correct or everything is valid. That is fine. But why you are writing for positive and negative? That positive is okay, valid. Then why it is why you are writing the negative test cases and it is same? And then test case name will be always, test case name will be different, not for all. Test case ID is different. But what is the difference between check login with valid data, check login with valid data, check login with valid data? Is that any make sense, Shukla? No, because no. Always
that time I'll use the boundary value concept. It is better.
No, boundary values. If you write down the boundary values concept, why you are not writing here? always remember what you are testing. When I read the test name, it will be descriptive by itself. Always remember. So if you are writing anything for here numeric character or alphabetic numeric or something else, here you are saying 9 alphabetic character, 8 alphabet character, and then 8 alphanumeric. I always
this one is the concept for boundary value, because the boundary value also mention 8 character.
No, you cannot. Even though if you are writing the boundary values, you need to write down the test cases. Checking boundary values is not the functionality, right? Boundary values always field level.
Yeah.
Right. So if you are writing the username boundary values, then write down the test cases like that way. Verify or checking username boundary values.
Okay.
That should be your proper sentence. Then when you write down something, and then if you are writing boundary values, and then you need to write down verify log username field or something like that.
Oh, I will mention this one is the username and this one is the password.
Okay, yeah. Verify username field values.
Okay.
Boundary values, right? Or boundary value analysis, like boundary value. So
that time I will mention, every time.
Yes. So what do you think? Which one is going to be? Do I need to ask you anything? If you read anybody is writing down like that way, or verify username boundary values, and then the test data is going to be 8 character, 9 character. If maximum is 8 characters, and you need to mention, okay, username, if they are mentioning username will be 32 characters, up to 32 characters. We are assuming. So 32 characters at that time, username is going to be where? So your test steps is going to be, test data is going to be like that. So when you write down the, here also you write down the test data. Test data means how I know it is password or username.
Oh, that time I write down the test data and mention that this one is the username.
That's the use for test data, right? If you have 2 fields in the suppose like here we are write down here for verify verify that one, right? So we make it yellow color, for here. So when you write down, then that time you already knows there is no password, only username, right? So when you write down the username, and that time you need to find write down that username. Suppose user 4 and AME. Username.
Okay, and in the bracket always I mention this one is the boot.
This is 8 characters. Suppose 8 characters. CHAR 8 characters. So and then another one, when you write down, you don't need to write down something like, okay, you can write down more things for, and then you can count. Oh, suppose we have 20, and then up to, but not like that way. If you have a 32 characters, you cannot write down 8 characters. So boundary values is 32 characters for 31 and 32 and 33.
Yeah. This is the concept.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
So and then the three test data you need to put on the username field, and then you need to check it that is taking or not. So, but test case is one. We are not writing the 3 test cases. We are writing 1 test cases for boundary value checking. The boundary value has 3 fields. One for less than, one is exact.
Yeah, maximum and minimum. Yeah.
Right. So that's why we are not writing, okay, verify username for 31 character, verify username for 32 character, verify username for 33 characters. It is look like we are repeating for test data. It is okay, but it is not good way to write down.
Yeah, I understand.
We are repeating. We are always remember, try to avoid redundancy. That is the another reason also. So that way you already knows how many things you need to modify. Like precondition, it is I need a valid Gmail account to do login. Why? If it is a use, I'm not sure it is based on the Pizza Hut or not. If it is a Pizza Hut, who said it's need to Gmail account? If I use Yahoo account, it is not gonna work. Tell me. It should work, right? So precondition, it is not like Gmail account you need. Who said the Gmail account? If it is, your page is not loaded, this page is not calm, then how you verify? Suppose like your login page is not displayed, sign in page. Suppose you click sign in page, your sign in page account is not displayed, and then how you verify? You cannot verify. That is going to be your precondition. Suppose like you are checking your login functionality, sign in functionality. That is going to be your precondition. Suppose you are checking with create account, because the create account or registration page or create account page should be displayed. That will be your precondition. Not like a Gmail account. No, who said you need only Gmail account for login? Nowhere is mentioned. Is that page is mentioning anywhere? You need a email address, Gmail account. You need? No, nowhere. So always remember based on the functionality, and then you need to write down. Are you clear? What you need to write down on the precondition, Shukla?
Yeah. That's why I told I need the one dummy.
No.
And then
I'm saying like definitely. The ultimate goal is like when we give you the lecture, always I tell you go back, find out the old videos, and then go walk through again, and then it will give you more pictures. Suppose you wrote something, and then a lot of things to modify, but it is not like that. If you follow me, and then after that, if it is, I saw it, 50% is fine or 60% is fine, I can give you more modification. If it is feel like, you are not even close by, it is like waste of time, that is going to be disappointed, because otherwise seems like you don't follow any lecture, you just jump on the test cases, and then we did not tell you anything previously, and then you showed me this. That is different, but we already discussed about how to write. So
no, we understand. I appreciate for lecture. We understand, but as a new person, we are writing something that we are confused.
No, definitely, I appreciate you spend time, but the thing is proper way we need to follow.
Yeah, that's why I need the one dummy sample for your site, and then I'll follow, and then I will start.
Yes, so you already knows where you need to modification. Suppose scenario should be functional level, and then test name always test name will be unique, and test case ID will be unique, and test case name will be what you are testing. Always remember, ask yourself what I am testing here, and then write down this answer. That will give you more picture. Like what? Okay, I'm verify email address. Okay, verify email address field. That is your test case name. Verify password field. Verify confirmation password field. That is your test case name. And then every field is here is going to be at least one test case. And then another one test case is going to be all field is going to be boundary values, right? Every field is going to be boundary values. And then there is minimum also. There is boundary values is that test data is very important. And the name also same. If we write down something 1, 2, 3, 4, and then if it is a taking, that is fine. Maybe it is a bug. You can put them. Oh, okay. Here only number is taking. But somewhere some good application they will not allowing. They will give you through the error. But here it is allowing. So it is depends on. Sometimes it is a bug. Maybe they said, oh, okay, it is fine. Who gonna write their name ABCD 1, 2, 3? But functional wise, it is not good. So what about the zip code? Zip code you are writing. The test data is different. Suppose you are writing ABCD and then it is taking. You saw is there. It is taking there. So that should not be there. There is bug also. Even the in production you are seeing the bug. How you find out if you write down always the create account field and one test cases? How you find out that is allowing? It is not good. This functionality is not working as expected. So zip code is going to be 5 characters. That is 5 characters is taking, but it is taking also character. It should be take only the number. So those way you need to find out. So write down that way, and then we can review. And then description will be, if you need more details, then description you need to write down under that. And then test steps.
In description field, I will put to the in the field name here. Description is because
description is like if you mostly what we do in our professional job, mostly we write down the test case name, and then we need more details if it is a very big things, and then that time we put description. But mostly we are using the same, because suppose for this is a field level, you have, suppose you are writing verify email address, email address field, email address field, and then what is the description is going to be same, right? So suppose if it is a defined, okay, then you can more details you can write down. If it is end to end, some it is not clear. If you are write down a small word but it is not that much descriptive, and then you may write down on the description more details, because mostly when you are doing automation, right? Automation classes you also do. So when they are doing automation, they are using their ID and their test name. And then test name they're making as a function or method. Test name is they're creating a method, same name. That way they find out, and then on the tag line they're using their ID. So that way they are making automation. But when they are writing the automation, that manual test should be done. And then if your application is not stable, you cannot even write down the automation, because it is wasting time. So that's why everybody needs to go through the what is called go through manual process. So that is, you need to modification. And then most of the people, I'm not sure, we make the group and then they write down all our about login functionality. I'm not sure, maybe I'll give you another example. I'll tell you right now. Also write down the test cases based on the create account, not the login. Even though whatever you are writing the test cases, even though, did you see, I give them assignment, even though here they're not mentioning anything, they're not properly doing anything, just roughly sending me, and then test case ID, just one ID, and then they are doing checking, sorry, they're writing here scenario and test case names. Seems like all are copying each other, some people, but that is not good practice. And then this is, you see, he is also doing the same. So here the test case name PHP travel create accounts, and then under that he wrote down test scenarios. So just tell me, did I mention anywhere and then start with test case name and test scenario under that with the same column? Who wrote this is for Naim, and then Naim wrote down this, and then he started with that. That's why I told you, just don't play with like your own templates, and then think about like think about right now. Suppose you are going to the job today, you got the job, and then that way you are writing the test cases. What do you think? Is going to be good sign? No. So always remember, and then test steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then up to 13. Here is only 3. Test name, browser, homepage, and create account. So it seems like he also follow the some other one, and then this one is same. So we assuming like they're changing some here the name, but this one is same. So test steps description, they are done first name, last name, mobile number, email address, password, confirmation number. Where is this data is coming from? For sign up, where is the sign up? There is anywhere did you mention it? I'm not assuming this is the maybe PHP travel. So he wrote down the PHP travel. So PHP travel, and then there is a step is click home and select sign up. There is a 2 instruction. One step is going to be 1 steps, not the 2 instruction. 2 steps, that means you need to write down 2. So that is not like that. And then step 3, you are doing you are performing 7, 8 fields implementation, and then you are clicking type following information and click on sign up. That's done. So the steps should be the good order. So I will tell you that is not a good test cases as well. So good one I will follow right now. So why I did not show you previously, because we need to discuss about that. And then that one written by our good student Rahat Bhai. So why it is showing like that? Let me just 1 second. Something is blocking. Okay, close it again. Something is black line is coming in. Okay. Why it is showing that? Okay. So are you guys? You can see, guys, right? So this is the he wrote down the test case ID. Did you see? He started with PH and then REG and then underscore 001. That the way I also last time I also discussed that that will be like that. I like his concept. I will also mention it previously. So PH mentioned as a PH represent as a Pizza Hut, and then that scenario is for registration or create account. He used it three characters for registration, and then using the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on. That's good. If you are writing the create account, you can write down PH and then underscore CA and underscore 001. That's also fine. Create account. So PH create account. That is also good, fine also. So both way you can do, but the ID is going to be like that, and definitely it's going to be unique. And then did you see the name? Verify successful navigation to create account page. So verify successful successful navigation. There is always remember when you write down somewhere, and then always checking your spelling, because you are correcting, you are a tester, and then don't make it typo. Always review by yourself 2-3 times and then send back to your boss and verify. So you know the name is defined what he is testing. Verify successful navigation to the create account page. That is one test case. So he put it, and then user should be on home page definitely, because the joint link is not going to be available if home page is not displayed. And then he click. There is one steps only, right? So he put it there, and then there is no test data. Because why? Because it is the action, it is not any data. And then expectation is successfully navigation to the create account page. And then I also mentioned it, he need to correct it. We will go through the new one. And then when you are reviewing, always remember why I am also share with you guys. When you are reviewing with your manager, you are not running your test cases. So always avoid these two fields, because it is for after execution. And then expected result is there. So what I'm testing, his testing is create account page is not coming or not, and then that is fine. And then second one, verify user registration with valid data. That is also fine. So user registration or create account, he can write down the verify create account with valid data. And then needs, what is the precondition things like test data, like user details information need to available. Suppose email address available, should be available, name, phone number, zip code, and then details is going to be available. So that time you can write down precondition, or precondition you can write down for this page. Oh, okay, create page. This page is after create page should be available. That is your precondition. And then after that, test steps is email address. You enter first one, then second password, third confirmation password, first name, last name, phone number, zip code, agreement, check reboot, and click on create account button. And then this is the all steps. And then he wrote it this. The first step, first one is which test data. First one is this rahat@gmail.com. And then this is password, and then first name, last name, phone number, this. But I already told him this was his first version. So second version he already corrected. We will discuss. But why I'm showing this, because you also need to know what need to modify. So the test data is not going to be 8 and 9. or 10, right? Because it is a perform, it is an action. You are clicking or checking. It is not any kinds of data. Data always related to the text box or the text field. That is your data. You are entering somewhere. If you have a menu or a list from or the box, what is called combo box or list, and then that time you can put as a test data which one you select from that list. Maybe that time you can use it, but for the only checkbox or only action button, you don't need to write down a test data. It is good coverage on your test steps. That is fine. And then expected is account should be created, for it is end to end. That test cases is end to end flow. You already know. So you can write down end to end test cases. So you can isolate end to end test cases. So if you have that test type, you can write down end to end. So that is end to end. But the thing is, that is going to be your last test cases, because it is should be work all, but you need to find out the feature level as well. So he wrote down, he started with feature level from here. This is the functional level. Did you see he did not mention it even test scenarios? This test scenarios is here, it doesn't need it, even though if you can create if you want, you can create. What is the test scenario? Oh, test scenario is verify or create account user or for Pizza Hut. That is the scenarios. But field level you need to verify. So how you find out that all single field is validated?
Sorry to interrupt. I mentioned the module name as the module name in the top of the file.
Yes. So that time I would say, yeah. Even though mostly those things when we are using our this is for test Excel sheet. Excel sheet we are using for the test cases. Review those, and then you may use release version or who wrote down. Normally, when we are working all together, and then suppose we are a team when we work, and then that time suppose this is shareable for you. We have 50 test cases, and then we are 5 people, so 10 of each, and then we are executing all people. And then that time, if you have a one field, you can and then separately we need to send back our manager to 5 files. So we are not doing, or maybe 5 Excel sheet, and then but he need to consolidate. So normally these types of field, this is optional, but it may come out on your as a column, not as a here as a document. Suppose that one is going to be on your test plan, and then that time you can write out, okay, designed by who, executed by, you can put Rahat, Russell, Shukla, and then lot of people you can write down, and then he can put it a release name, he can put it a module name, he can put it project name, and so on. That is come as a project plan wise plan or under the project plan. But when we write down the test cases, and then definitely the test cases is going to be like on your what is called test case is going to be on your on column. That is better to have it. But if you write down, it is fine. If you are one person or 2 person, or maybe one is offshore and then on the onshore you are working here, and then that time you may put it there. But mostly I would say definitely they those information when we log the test cases in QC, Quality Center, or HPALM, or Rally, or Bugzilla. Sorry, not Bugzilla. There is another third-party software is available for those. And then if your company is using those software, and then that time you can write down those release number or project sprint or other things. You can put it project-wise, project information you may add more and more. So, and then that is the use for that. So compatibility issues, so I need to take it. So anyhow, so here did you see verify user registration invalid email format? So what he's checking? Verify user registration invalid email format. That means his ultimate goal is verify expected result. Did you see? Expected result is if you are entering invalid email address, then pop-up should be displayed. What is pop-up? Your email must be valid. That is going to be displayed. So verify. So what is the better way we can write down? We can write down better way. Okay, verify error message for invalid email address. So if I write down this, you can say a lot of other way as well. I'm not saying I'm the correct person or it should be that way you need to write, but the ultimate goal is we are writing here something to understandable for other followers who gonna be execute or who gonna be the higher management when they review, they will understand what is that test case for. And always remember, one test case you are testing for one functionality or one thing. You are not doing for multiple things. Suppose like here he is verifying your email address is invalid or valid, and then but also he wrote down all steps. Just think about yourself. Do I need to check it all fields for verifying email address? No, we don't need to. We only need to enter only email address. We don't need to enter first name, last name, middle name, and so on, other fields. Other fields we don't need to. So what is the steps it will be? It will be only one step, enter email address. The test data is going to be invalid test data. Or you can put the steps invalid email address. Enter invalid email address. That is your steps, and then you can put the test data. Okay, abcdxyz.com. That is your that's done. And then rest of this we don't need to. And then precondition. Always remember you can merge it, and then precondition definitely. Precondition is what in that test case. How many precondition you can write down? Can you tell me? Create account page should be displayed, or email field should be enabled. If it is disabled, definitely you cannot enter anything. You may write a lot of way, but the thing is how you think, how you are writing. It is depends. No, nothing is wrong. Nothing is right. If we write down both, and then both are correct. So that's why I am telling you, and then that is the same thing. So we will go through this. I already told you, and then same thing, email format. Already we go through the email address, right? And then other also he also wrote down the same way, the verify registration when user does not check terms, like the terms and condition, right? Not check terms, verify registration. So that is fine. You can also write down that. And also the steps is definitely you can go through, and then up to that step. Okay, that is fine. Okay, and then if you are not checking, how you verify registration when user does not check, and then definitely you will get this message. You can write down more another way. Okay, verify error message for not checking the terms and condition, or without checking terms and condition, or verify not checking terms and condition error message. Verify terms and condition error message when user not checking terms and condition text box. Lot of way you can say. There is no such a way, but ultimate goal is you need to write down something specific. Okay, I am writing these test cases, and then when I read the name, and then I am able to know what you are testing. And then always remember, you are testing one thing, one focus thing. Then your test case is going to be correct. Otherwise, it is not going to be perfect. So let's do one thing. Almost yeah, okay. 9 is there or not? Let's see. So Rahat also send me another one. The new one. Let's see which one is there. Okay, this one is correct. Hey, Rahat, this one is first one is correct one. Maybe the second one. Okay. So this create account, this one is old one. So I suggest him, that is perfect for me. As I will give him like this one. I will give him out of 100. I will give him out 85 to 90. some modification he needs, and then not for 100, because why? Because something is seems like we already discussed what he need to address. Suppose this test data checked, he doesn't need to, and then the way he wrote it is fine, but it need to something need to more clarify, and then these two fields always need to be take it out. That one is also fine after test, after execute. And then test priority we don't need to test priority, because why? Because test priority is always, when we test, definitely all are same. We need to test everything. We cannot isolate, okay, that need to be only this test case we need to write. That is coming to as a regression. When we write down the regression sheet or regression set of tests, that time we can put it which one is highest priority or which one is more functionalities. That time we can put it for regression. And then suppose we have 100 test cases, we put it 70 test cases for regression. And that 30 test cases we are take it out because it is less important. Suppose leveling, or maybe picture resolution, or be color, background or foreground, or maybe some other things like what is called checkbox is grayed out, or maybe optional fields. Suppose we have a form, and then there is 6 is required field and 4 is optional field. So from optional fields you may choose one, rest 3 you can ignore it. So those way we can find out. But when we write down the test cases, we need to write down all fields, even required and non-required or optional. So that's the thing. And then here he already colored it. That's good thing. Did you see how he mentioned it? And then what you are writing? But ultimate goal is we are not checking, we are not writing everything or for all. It's not going to be test data is going to be different with the based on the test cases. It's not going to be repeat for all. It is not like you are writing the first test cases and all are is going to be repeated, so on, and then you are making bold. You don't need to. So it is wasting time, or wasting, it is look like also it's not neat and clean. Because when you are writing over and over, when always remember, make sure you are not doing redundancy. That way you can avoid lot of steps. So that is his second one. So that is correct. So test summary, verify user registration functionality with valid email password. Actually it is fine. So yeah, he wrote down that is what is the summary. That's good to have it. And but main thing is those fields what we are talking about. So test case ID we already talk about how to write down, how to start the test case ID, and the name always remember always is going to be unique. All name is going to be unique. So let's get started. Verify successful navigation, create account. We already talked. User registration with valid data. That is end-to-end process. That is fine. And then after that, verify registration when email field is empty. So empty field is going to be complete required field, right? And then error message is going to be addressed. And then second one, verify registration invalid email address. Okay, invalid email address. And then verify registration when, but here did you see he went to the password field, and then we have test field, we have only 2. Do you believe this is 100% coverage? No. Why? Because always remember, when you write down one field properly, and then it will implement it for other field as well. But the only thing is the functionality is changed. Suppose email address boundary values, where is boundary values? He did not check it, but maybe there is some bug is there. So here he did not check for boundary values. So how we need to boundary values, that is fine, but we would not say that is 100% coverage, because if you have more test cases and more way you are writing the test cases, then that way you can find out more bug free your application. Otherwise, if you write down test cases is fine. If you write down one test cases, that is also fine, but you cannot ensure that is application is bug free. So our ultimate goal is each and every field when we write down the test cases, that level is 100% we are covering. Okay, so that is he wrote down 1 and 2, and then also another boundary values. So verify email fields boundary values. That's fine. You can write down the test cases, but test data is going to be 3 or 4 or more, because boundary values, if we have mentioned it on our business requirement document or functional requirement document, there is 50 characters, and then if there is no mention, then what you need to do, you need to ask on your sprint, on your meeting, daily scrum meeting, when it happens, then you may ask your whole team, hey, on our business requirement document, we don't have any boundary values mentioned over there, because what is the boundary values? And then if you have a test cases, then you can mention it. Oh, okay, that test cases is blocked because you cannot execute, you cannot pass or fail because the business requirement document is not mentioning it is 30 character or 100 character or 50 characters. How you do? That time when you mention it, and then based on if they say, okay, 50 character is your boundary values, that time your test data is going to be how many? 49, 50, 51. That 3 test data, and then you execute. Suppose 49 is taking, 51 is taking, 50 also taking, and 51 also taking, and then that time you put the 51 test data and then mention it as a fail, because functional requirement document says maximum 50, but 51 is allowing. That is not good. So that time you can put it, and then what is the priority? Do you put as when you put the fail, that time you need to put as a test priority high, low, or medium. So tell me in that case, how can I say it? I can ask Faisal as well. Hey Faisal, can you answer that? Yeah, if it is a 51 test, 51 field is character, it's user able to enter it, and then you make it failed, and then you wrote down the defect, and then you need to enter it severity, medium, low, and high. What you put? Medium, low, and high. Faisal or anybody? Farhana?
Russell, can you repeat your question? I didn't.
Question is, do you follow me, Nacho, or you are?
No, I'm following you.
At all.
You just need the like what the level of the defect.
Suppose like here, so there is a one test cases is boundary values. Verify boundary values for email fields, and then test data definitely this is one test cases, but test data is going to be 3, right? One is for 40, one is for 50, one is for 51. Three test data you need to test for one test cases, and then you find out all are taking.
That's going to be your high, because hello.
I'm listening to you.
Yeah, your severity going to be high here, even priority, both of them.
Okay, so anybody agree with the Faisal or disagree? Anyone?
Agree with him.
Agree with him. Okay. So I'm assuming everybody's agree with the Faisal, but the thing is, this is not going to be high. Definitely not. Why? Because the thing is, it is not hampering the application create the account. Tell me how many people has 51 characters email address? Normally, how many percent? For maybe I'm assuming for 1 or 2%, not even like that, less than. So why we care? Why it is high for less than 1% people? Is that hampering for create account if we don't have 51 characters email address? No, not at all. So that's why I'm asking this. How you find out? First of all, you need to ask yourself, or you need to know how it is affecting our business or that functionality. Then based on that, your defect is going to be high, medium, or low. That is definitely is going to be low. Because why? It is not hampering that at all. Suppose create account button is disabled. You write down all fields. You have all fields is there. You have here, everything is there. But when you clicking, and then it is changing the color, darker and lighter, but nothing is happens. Because this is look like it's not functioning or disabled. That is high priority. Definitely high priority. But if suppose terms and condition is not checking, it is high priority, it is not checkable, definitely there have a lot of rules is there, it should be checkable. That is high priority. If you are clicking here, it's not check is not showing there, definitely it is high priority. But that field, if we have a 51 characters, that is not high priority, that is like low priority, because without 50 characters or less than 50 characters, most people have the email address, and then most people has valid email address, because we are not creating email address here, already have that email address. So that's why, even though if you write down, you put it as a low. If you put it high priority, then what will happen? Then they will say, oh, you are not professional at all that much, because you are new, and then you don't know what is high and low. That will they assume. Suppose like here, also in that field, here it is taking characters. That time, tell me, you put it high, low, or medium? Anyone? Don't get afraid. So I'm saying, okay, here, suppose here, if it is allowing though even alphanumerical, then you might put it maximum medium, not high, because high is going to be which one is affecting the business directly. That is going to be high. Mostly you put it medium and low. So depends on what functionality. So suppose like join account, link is broken, definitely high, because lot of people will not creating account. And then you do the transaction is not happening, or maybe transaction confirmation number is displaying, but you are suppose you will get the confirmation number in the email as well, then that one you can put medium or low. But business, because transaction is successfully happens, and then your confirmation also displayed, that is also business is not hampering. So always remember that functionality, when it is not work, how it is impact your functionality, your business. That way you can determine high, low, or medium. Everybody clear? So I would say Rahat as well. So do the boundary values email address as well. So that way we can cover in our field for what is called here. I would say verify user registration in valid email format. Yeah, that is fine, but more if you write down suppose verify error message for email for invalid email format, that is more better, I would say. Everybody's we can see or not, but I would say if you write down better way, so then you are focusing what you are testing, or we are testing for error message in the, beside the, because error message is showing it is valid or invalid. And then create account should not be successful. And then what is the expectation? Expectation is error message should pop up with the message your email must be valid. That is our pop up. And then when it is showing, and then I saw it, somebody is written as expected, not like that way. As expected, you cannot write down. If it is actual result is fine. Oh, it error message displayed. That's fine. You can write down error message displayed. Don't write down as expected. So that way you can, when you execute actually. And then the same thing, verify user registration password length less than 6 character, and then more than 6 character, and then and other things. So these two, do you believe it is coming as a boundary values? So you need to always remember, if you are repeating your test case, test name, test description, test step only for test data, just reduce it, make it combine. That is come with, always remember, you are only changing your data, nothing else. Your test is same, but you may write down, but I would my recommendation is, if you write down this way, it is, I'm not saying it is totally wrong, that is also right, but better way is write down boundary values, password field, or you can write down invalid password. Invalid password could be defined way. Invalid password could be less than 5 characters, or if there is a no maximum values. Even though on the Pizza Hut they did not mention it how much is the maximum. They're saying minimum. So you need to mention from your developer or business requirement document, and then what is, and then it is saying case sensitive. So but it is not saying must you need to put as a alphanumeric. So only very simple, but that way you can write down the test cases, the boundary values, and then verify for invalid same email address and characters, both for same for password as well. And then in that when you do boundary values, you can combine your test data. And then same for confirmation email address, verify confirmation email address, and then what, only confirmation email address. You don't have boundary values as well for confirmation number, confirmation. But even though how you verify, another one is verify user registration when confirm password is same. So when it is same, you verify. When it is not same, what is the test case? What is the scenarios? Rahat. If it is not same, suppose I'm writing here A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, and then here I'm writing 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. And then how it is showing? It is same or not? It is not displaying, right? It doesn't have that level, but you need to write down the test cases for that. Suppose if it is verify when mismatch with the password and confirmation password, when it is mismatch, and then definitely same verify user registration when confirm password is same. So account should be created successfully. No, account not, it is not expected. Do you think I'm writing password on password field and confirmation field, and then that way it will create account? Do you don't need to enter other things? You don't need to checkbox here? No. The thing is, you can write down the expected result is, if suppose user should able to enter successfully the password field, password should be entered in the password field. That is your expected. Oh, you are writing some writing the email password, and then user should able to enter the password correct format. That is your expected. Expected is not creating the account. How it is creating the account? Only when you confirm the password. That is going to be when you click the create account password. Create account button. That is your
it should be like the password field should accept the input, right?
Yes. That
expected
confirm password field should be enabled. Yes, or should be entered. The user should be able to enter the confirm password.
Okay.
That is your expected. If it is disabled, definitely you cannot enter it. So that is your expected. It is always think about it is a field level. That is for account creation. It is for only create account field. It is for external. It is not like, don't assuming you are doing middle of the something and then you are going to all the way down. You are skipping here something, right? Definitely that one is fine. It was fine. And then account should be created. No, that did not. I did not focus on. That is wrong. We need to both. We need to check it. The user should able to enter the password. Password 6 characters. That is your expected. And then tell me one thing also. And suppose like I can mention it. Suppose on the password field, suppose we have 32 characters is maximum. And then when you put it boundary values, and then boundary values, and then you entering something, and then you can write down another test cases for here. You can write down user should not able to enter more than 50 characters. That is your expectation. Oh, sorry, or 32 characters. If 32 characters is your password field, then you can mention it. Your expected result is for boundary values or email address. You can write down boundary values expectation is user should not able to enter more than 100 characters, or user should not able to enter more than 32 characters. That is my expectation, right or wrong?
Yes, it's right.
So if we enter it 31 or 32, definitely it will take. And then if we enter 33, definitely on the text field it will not allow. Suppose here it happens. Suppose on my zip code I'm writing something. You are hearing the noise, and then it is not allowing, because it is maximum 5 characters. So when you write down the test cases for zip code boundary values, and then boundary values for how you write down the boundary values, and then boundary values, suppose you are taking 000 or 50, it is invalid. Nowhere is taking zip code is 000. That is invalid zip code. But it is not taking, it is not throwing error message, because field level functionality or validation is not here. It has some. It is not like it doesn't have at all. It has, because it is only allow 5 characters, but it is taking invalid zip code. It is taking, so when you write down invalid zip code, then this test case is going to be failed. Even in production it has the first name as well. So how many characters, maybe 100 characters or more than, we don't know how many characters is taking. So now you see it is stuff here. We cannot write down anymore. So field level validation is there. So we need to count how many, maybe 50. More than 50 characters is not allowed. So when you write down the test cases boundary values, then expectation result is user should not able to enter more than 50 characters. Clear? Everybody?
Okay, I think I got the concept now, because previously there was some confusion regarding this field level validation.
Yes, always is important, because most test cases, if your field level is not correct, working perfectly, how you go through end to end? End to end is later. End to end is going to be more later, but that field level is going to be fast come. And then when a field level is working fine, and then after that all combination, suppose like, okay, this is some is required field, some is optional field, and then we might have combination for only create account only for valid field, create account valid and valid and optional field together. That way you can might write down another test cases.
Okay, so I can write this test file one more time, and
yes, definitely. You wrote down here, suppose like you wrote down here almost, I like it is like almost 22, and then there is a field level, mostly field level. Then one, you do have only one test case for end to end, but you might write down another 2 or 3 test cases. You can write down verify registration with the valid data. Not only the valid data, you can verify registration with the required field, and then verify user registration with required and optional field. So another 2 or 3 another 2 test cases you can write down, and then you can do that, because that is overall all together functionality. Suppose they're allowing without entering required field, but that should be required, because you need to check, you need to enter it anything over there. So
okay, so I got it. Previously there was some confusion regarding the
definitely you should have because I'm not expecting is going to be 100% perfect, but my concern is whatever you wrote, I am giving you more marks, and then it is it is very good, but
yeah, if I practice, I can
some feature you already miss it. That's why I'm saying some functionality, because the coverage, more coverage, we may write down, even though it is not possible to make it bug free software, but as a tester, if you are a good tester, then bug is going to be reduced. If you are a bad tester, and then if you are not writing a proper scenarios or proper test, and then how you verify that functionality. Even though here, if you put Shukla or Faisal, and then they are running those, and then they will never touch boundary values. They will never touch required with the required field only create account. They will never touch it, because even though maybe it might be a problem, you never know. But that way we can find out. So our ultimate goal is how much way you can write down the test cases and find out your functionality is working properly. That's the same thing. One field is same thing for first name. Okay, verify with the invalid first name. How you write the, how you know invalid first name? You might put this email address on your first name, and then it is taking. definitely it is not a good sign, because somebody doing copy paste and then they might forget a lot of things. That's why we are taking. And then boundary values also we need to enter it, and then verify registration with a valid first name. So valid first name, there is, if there is a minimum, so last name is empty, or the first name is empty. There is no test cases for empty field. You have only last name empty field. But what about the first name empty field? You don't have it, but you mention it for the last name for empty field. That need to be also always remember. Focus on for one field. It is not like you are jumping one is to another. You have a total number, but always remember one field to another field. When you understand how you cover everything for one field, and then if you go to the next field, and then it will go so and on. It will grow, and then all test cases is going to be clear. Not like first level, first name you are writing, then last name, then again you going to the first name again. No, finish every field. That is fine. You follow. So I'm not saying you did not follow. I'm saying for all other people as well. Always make it sequence. Make it sequence. And then did you see how he wrote down? And then here for a valid first name, and then valid first name, he put it here. So always remember, if it is failed, is required. Sometimes here is the same data and the 2 and 3. Why you are writing the 2 and 3 again? We don't need to. So enter email address and password. This is for field level. Always remember here also, I did not mention it even, the first name. To write down the first name, maybe suppose somewhere you are working, and then they don't need to go through step by step. Suppose if you are writing here, you are we delete here, and we did not write anything here in this field, and then we are writing first name. We are able to write down, right? We are going to directly, we are going to the first level, not this one and this one. It is not required to mention it. Somewhere, if it is required, you need to go through one to another, and then that way. And then another test cases. Do you believe, like there is the placeholder text? Placeholder text HTML you already knows, like you@example.com. When anything is not entered, and when you remove something, and then it's going to be removed, right? And now it is scaling. Do you have a test cases that for that? You don't have it. And then what about the password? Password field is placeholder text. Verify placeholder text. You can write down. That is required. That is showing. So you verifying. And then what about this? This is also showing confirm password. So when you start writing and then it is not showing, then what is the expectation? Expectation you can write down. So when user enter confirm password, and then it will not displayed, or it will not display or not showing. That is their expectation. That is another test case you can write. Correct or wrong?
Right, now I got the field level.
Exactly. Here did you see here is they have a format. And then this format should be displayed. Then people will know, okay, what is the format is this. And not writing to. They have some space on it, and then first bracket, and then that is coming like that way. So they have some formats. So that way they need to mention it. Then you need to verify also. Maybe for regression you can take it out. That is not important. They might take it out. That's why I'm saying. So test case, when you write down the test case, and then you need to. And then I did not see anybody written the test cases the create account header. You jump directly to the field. And what about the account information spelling? What about the your information is displaying, or the all title? The first character is capital. First character is capital, right? Or this is the level. The level also you need to mention. And then this is the symbol. This is the icon. Earn, visa, and other get benefits. That's name, and then icon should be there. And then here is the heart icon, and then this is the picture, right? This is the picture or something. This should be on the right side. That you need to mention also. Lot of things you can write down. And then don't go after boundaries. Maybe this one is the footer for common for all, but definitely it should be updated too. So definitely what you need to check, you need on this create account page, this link, that one you can write down more than 100 test cases. So that link should be enabled when we click, and then it's going to be pizza page. Yeah, maybe on your create account page that that could be broken. Don't assume that is working. So that need to be addressed. That need to be write down. So terms and condition here also terms and condition. Here is also terms and condition. So lot of things, but why we did not go through? Because if you write down the one test cases, and rest of this is just repeating, but just only name going to be changed. But ultimate goal is here you are writing. Here you need to mention it one field to another field. That's the way. It is fine the way it is, but you need to modify those values. I would say here 5 characters or 6 characters, more than or less than 6 characters. Just write down the boundary values, and then that is when you testing, and then if it is not showing anything, then put it, oh, there is some issues in there. Okay, and other all text field is pretty much similar. Some function is different. Definitely.
The criteria you just put for
Yeah, so
one field,
because
it's
definitely
going to
password
be
is
same for all other fields. Like we have to check from the placeholder to the final validation, even what is not visible at the first glance, we have to check that too.
correct.
Like there is no, we don't know how much character is accepting for the first name. How long is the character is, like it's
Yes,
32 character or 50 character.
we don't know here, but we are assuming we can mention it like here. Definitely, yeah, it is in production. You cannot ask, but definitely what you are, if it is not mentioning
But as a experienced
document,
tester, we
you can
should
ask.
know that. We should know that there should have some boundary values for the maximum number.
Yes. So when you enter it, you can you can find out maybe here is 50 characters they are allowing, and then you are writing, and then somewhere is got stopped. But you are not when you count, and then you find out 50, and then you can ask if it is not mentioning on your business requirement document. You can ask in the meeting, and then what is the maximum limit of our first and last name field? Is that 50 or we need more? If they said no, it is 50, and then you can write down, you can modify based on that the bound. You can write down, okay, user should not able to enter more than 50 characters. So that way we will know if there is.
Okay. I'll try to write
Always remember 50% bug is remaining based on the requirement. Requirement is not clear. So don't assuming everything is it should be mentioned in the requirement. More than 50% bug is remain in the.
after the requirement file is finalized.
Yes. So here, did you see here? So what I'm saying to Rahat, always just try to, if you are going through the step to step, and then because it is not required field, if it is required, then you can mention it. We don't need to mention it every time to the states to verify valid or invalid zip code or other fields as well. We don't need to go through the sequence by sequence entering everything.
Okay, now I get clear about the field level testing.
Yes.
So I will modify this file one more time, and I will send you with the.
Yes, please. Yes. So that's the same thing for the verify user user text captcha, or that is required, right? It doesn't captcha, it is required or not required. Definitely it is really required. Yes, and then you can how you can find out it is when user checked or not checked, it is required or not, unless you are creating the create account. That time also you can put it there, first name, last name, for particular that checkbox for terms and condition. You can check it. Okay, that is checkable, and then when you write down required.
We have to test the field level testing first, and from the end-to-end testing we have to write that down. After
yes, that's why I told you like which one is required. Suppose the terms and condition field is required, you can mention it, that is required field. Maybe captcha is also required. Those fields is these two field is required for registration. and then which one is required. We don't know, maybe that one is definitely phone extension is optional, and also this is optional, but some and other name is required. So those way you can write down the test cases end to end. Create account with required field, create account with required and optional, because you cannot create account only optional field. Even though you can, for negative test you can write down also for one test cases, create account without required field. Definitely. And then without required field, you are not mentioning. It could be test data, anything. Missing for email address, missing for password, missing for last name, missing for zip code, or missing for terms and condition. Lot of combination it could be. But you need to test as much as you can, but one test case is fine. But definitely you need to run multiple times, different way.
Okay, I think everybody got so much information today.
Yes, definitely. Everybody got benefit, right? Today. So that's that's why we told you just try to write down, and then definitely always follow this what you wrote before, and then after that what you got update, and then if you modify another one, I would say Rahat as well, create another sheet and then write down those, and then what it will help you to review to how you transform from beginning to end.
Okay.
Okay, so now it should be 1 hour, but now it's more than 1.5. Good night, guys. See you next class. We will take some more classes. Okay.
Okay. So next Thursday will be a class of yours, or?
Yeah, because those things we need to focus on, because I know. And then also people don't forget, next Sunday is going to be database testing. Database testing means, sorry, database exam. Database exam I will take. I will give you some example sample question. You need to write down the answer. So I gave you already 50 question, that is for database related, but also you need to practice on joining and all clause, where clause, with what clause, order by, having clause, and then left join, right join, full join, and then there is another one's inner join, another one is Cartesian product. Those we need to learn. So when the way I wanted to figure it out, like how you are study, because it is like if we don't take the exam, and then we don't know where you are. Suppose like right now, we already know Rahat is written the test cases better than others. He don't assuming like he got from different places. This is, I believe, this is his first time as well, but he did good. And then Shukla also tried, but it was not good format. And then another Naeem, and then Akramul, they also tried, but the way they written, it was not a good format, even though they did not follow me. Even I'm saying Rahat is following my templates, but a lot of people, they did not follow, even though Rahat also written some other fields, but always follow what the instructor said. And you need to focus on time. And then otherwise, if you are not practicing 4-5 pages, you cannot go confidently in the job. Otherwise they will figure it out. Oh, you are, even though somebody we can assign to you the job, but first day or any time when you write down the test cases, they will figure out you never work or you never written the test cases. And then you cannot ask even your employer, sorry, your colleague, those things. So they will write down for you. Do you? No. So those small things is very important. For put proper focus, and then keep practice on it. You need to first just study properly, and then you spend more times now, and then after that, when it is smoothly, you can write down everything, and then you don't need to practice at all anytime. anybody, any functionality they give you, you can start writing test cases without hesitation. But now you need to give more time. That's why we are saying a lot of things, but if you are not practicing, it is not going to be benefited even this from this class as well. Okay, bye everyone.
Thank you
Okay. See you later.
Good night.
Good night.